Hello everybody, it's the Historical Gamer once again, and today we are returning to Master of Command, an upcoming not turn-based, I shouldn't say that, an upcoming real-time strategy and war game made by Armchair History Interactive. This is a real-time combat game, real-time on the campaign map too, real-time game that occurs during the 18th century, so during the time of Frederick the Great. It has a procedurally generated campaign for 5 different nations. It also has kind of a more linear campaign under Rise of Frederick, which I have not played more than just like clicking into Shadow of Molowitz. But I think this is like historical engagements for Frederick, whereas the new the campaigns we're going to be playing tonight are campaigns that are, again, procedurally generated maps. You build an army, you kind of try and progress across the map, and then at the end, you can't have a boss battle against the big main enemy army that you have to defeat. We're going to start a new campaign because this is a pre-release build. This game comes out on the 27th of October. There will be a demo in just a couple of days on the 13th to coincide with Steam Next Fest, I think is the event. But the full version will come out the 28th. And so there was a new build that kind of broke the saves. Griffin, the Armchair Historian, actually he was very kind. He made a sort of an old build if I wanted to play the old campaign. But I want to start a new one just because I've learned a bit, and I thought it would be interesting to take a look at a different country, because not everybody, but a lot of people are playing as the British. So why not look at a different country, right? And I figure, who gets the least love in these kind of games except the Austrians? Maybe the French, but I think the French have the shadow of Napoleon, even though he's not here yet. But like, these era of games, I think the French get a fair bit of attention. Russia certainly gets attention. Prussia is obviously the centerpiece of this game, at least historically speaking. And then the British, all of us English-speaking YouTubers love to play as the Redcoats. So let's go as the Habsburg monarchy, the Austrians, because they never get any love. Let's take a look and see what we've got here. The Spanish do, but they're not in the game, so I can't play as a faction that's not in the game. Okay, I do know someone who has power fantasies about Austria, Ben. I actually have a friend who's obsessed with the Habsburg monarchy, but that's a different story for a different day. I did some role-playing, forum-based RPGs with him. Anyway, many years ago in high school and stuff. Austria's flexible multinational army is anchored by great artillery, giving it strength in prolonged battles. But the same diversity that makes an army adaptable also leaves its recruits difficult to integrate. With fresh levies from many lands, often slow to train, combined with poor reload times on the line, Austria relies on adaptability and the ferocity of its Hungarian troops to battle the flaws. So that's sort of the description of Austria. Multinational army means you get regiment and officer recruitment options +3, so I guess you get additional regiments and officers. However, your recruits gain experience or veterancy 20% more slowly. We start with the Crowland Corps army. It looks like we've got 2 generals. The British only had 1 to start. We get von Lacy and von Loudon. And then we've got an Austrian battalion of artillery. We've got, I wonder if they have canister. I don't see any difference in effectiveness at range. I'm not sure how that works. I don't know. We also have Austrian Fusiliers. Their accuracy is way lower than the British, although the reload times on the Fusiliers is not actually worse. 15 seconds is pretty good. Crowland, although maybe this is actually a higher score is good, because the Crowland recruits say time is 10. Am I reading that wrong? It looks to me like it's faster, but maybe I'm reading that wrong. Complexity challenging the core power of the Habsburg monarchy comes from its Austrian and Bohemian hereditary lands. In addition to providing much of the wealth of the empire, German and Czech-speaking infantrymen form the heart of Maria Theresa's armies. These soldiers are loyal to their queen and include men from cities like Prague and Vienna who have rudimentary education in mathematics and ballistics necessary to train artillery. So we've got more provisions than the British had. We've got considerably less gold. We've got way more recruits. So you can see the British had 100 recruits to start. We start with 1,500, although we start with 200 less gold, and we start with 150 more provisions. We start with less ammo, but not dramatically less, 750. Artillery accuracy +10. I'm going to guess ammo is a little bit more at a premium because we're going to have an artillery battery. And then we've got elevation screws, which give a bonus to max range for the artillery. Buck and ball rounds, which give better accuracy, although reduced range for infantry. Was buck and ball a thing in the 18th century, or is that more of a 19th century thing? I mean, I know it's a thing in the Civil War, but I didn't know that that was a... I mean, I guess it would make sense. Everything's smoothbore that you might do that. Also got regimental staff commissar, veterancy gain, ammo consumption, limber chest, and something medicinal. Let's crush up some leaves and make people healthy. All right. Okay. So we've got 3 campaign options to start with. Protect Flanders from the British. I guess technically, is this the period where like Holland had some Habsburg colonies? Protect Hungary, reinforce Bohemia. So reinforce 4 outposts, secure 5 battlefields, secure 4 encampments, secure 5 convoys, secure 4 encampments, secure 5 convoys. Flying batteries doctrine is acquired. That presumably makes the artillery faster. Austrian Jaegers join your army. They're a level 2 experience unit. That seems like a nice little perk. I would assume Grenadiers are more melee troops. They're into the 15th inning in Seattle. War Council Doctrine? What does that do for us? Reduce officer cost? I'm gonna do Protect Flanders. I don't know if, like, other than the perks, I don't know, and also the map that you're fighting on, how that necessarily matters. I like the art style. It's always been something I've liked from, oh, we're gonna be fighting the British? Is that true for every one of these? No, we could fight the, if we do reinforce Bohemia, I think those are those the Prussians? Is that the Prussian flag? I almost would rather fight them. But I do want the flying battery, so we'll do that. Act 1, Flanders. All right, so we start with 2 brigades, which is different than last time. One of them is an artillery brigade all by itself, von Lacy, and then von Loudon has 3 infantry regiments. I kind of wonder if it makes sense just to put von Lacy on the shelf and then move the artillery over here. Also, by the way, in the last video, I made it look like you couldn't put troops into a brigade if you didn't have officers, and that is not true. You can have officer-less brigades, so keep that in mind. I'd rather have a full brigade under 1 officer. That way, if von Loudon dies, then we can go ahead and we can get Lacy in artillery range and reload speed, although he's an artillery officer for sure. So we're going to be sacrificing his artillery range perk. What is the other guy? Combat effectiveness and officer death chance. That's just generally a good officer. All right, so artillery, we need to go ahead and give him the elevation screws trait, or we don't need to. It'll slow reloads, but it'll give him better range. The troops all have 37 and 45 accuracy. So we'll do buck and ball. Improves accuracy. What are these guys again? We've got Crowland recruits and then, or Crownland recruits. I don't know why I keep saying Crowland. So the recruits will give buck and ball. So that'll give them, should give them better accuracy. Doesn't seem to change it. Huh. Oh, is that only for the artillery arm? It doesn't seem to make a difference. Whoops. Oh, that's because I clicked the wrong thing. Well, it says, what is it? It's got a cavalry icon and an officer icon? I don't know if that actually matters. I'm a little confused why the buck and ball rounds aren't giving him an accuracy boost. Maybe it's like a hidden trait. Maybe it only occurs at certain ranges. Ammo consumption -15 on the artillery. Let's give some of our recruits better veterancy. They gain veterancy more quickly. And we'll have our experienced troops recover more quickly. Okay. I don't have enough money to raise new regiments at the time. So I think we'll go with this. War is upon us! Your army stands at the frontier. Though modest in size, your forces are disciplined and in good order. A nearby depot lies ahead. Okay. Supply cache lies before us, but a handful of enemy stragglers stand to watch. We may strike swiftly and seize one part of the stock before they can react. Coin, provisions, ammo. I need money more than anything as Austria, so we'll do that. Oh, they're trying to run away because they're too weak to face us? Really? They've got 3 regiments. I don't have any cavalry, by the way. Sim Caesar, thanks for the raid, dude. Long time no see. How you guys doing? All right, so I don't know if artillery fires effectively over the heads of their own troops or not. Is there a way to have these boys lay down? Oh. So there's the buck and ball option. So you can choose which ammo to use. So at range, you just use the standard ammo, and then when they get close, you use the buck and ball. Nice. The thing is, anchoring my line on this creek might seem like tactically sound, but I don't know that creeks actually matter. The enemy's up here. Let's actually do this. Let's move these fusiliers into this wood line. At the double boys. Move these guys here. These guys can stay in the cemetery. We'll put the artillery on the flank here, so they can have a clear line of fire. I don't know, that might be dumb. The enemy might go right at the artillery. We'll see. Is there a follow roads option? That would be preferable. I don't see that. And this is our general. Leopold Josef von Daun. I guess that's me, because that's not the name of the officer we had in the previous. Are we literally setting up camp in a graveyard? Dudes. I don't know if I can move skirmishers. There's attack column, line, and flexible. I'm choosing flexible, which just lets the AI choose, I guess. They're in range. But the guns are unlimbering. Maybe I should have kept them where they were. Are they unlimbering? Maybe they weren't unlimbering. They were just chilling. There's no canister option, which is a little disappointing. Artillery! Fire! Oh, the enemy took a 6% morale hit. Sponge out! Let's play skip the stone with the artillery, boys. Enemy does have cavalry. I'm hoping I can swing these units right along their flank if they advance on the artillery. Oh, the artillery does skip. You can see the bounce mark here, 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 and here. That's cool. Oh no, these poor boys got smeared like toothpaste. Would they start with 1,400 men? They're already down 200. I'll take that. Are these the ones with buck and ball? They are. Nice. The enemy's already looking at possibly routing. They're already blinking white. Please don't shoot at my artillery. Shoot at my Crownland infantry. Retreat! Yeah, boys. Got him. I don't know if... the cavalry's charging me? In the woods? If I was them, that seems ill-advised. But maybe it doesn't matter if you charge into the... Oh, volley right before they hit the line. They did not survive that. They immediately retreated. I would also think firing into the... charging into the woods may be an ill-advised strategy. My artillery is going to pound the troops that are hanging back. My boys are going to turn and hit them in the flank, and so the one remaining enemy regiment that is in front of me, we're going to try and hit them in front and flank. Now those cavalry and these infantry back here could rally, although the artillery appears to be driving them back further. This is a very... unlike my previous playthroughs so far. This thing is going reasonably well. Can they fire here? Because this is almost enfilading the line. There we go. That was a quick victory. And also, since the game does show multiple skip marks for the artillery, I'm assuming you can maybe do multiple rounds of damage if you fire along the line, but I could be wrong. This is Frederick the Great, so horse and musket, but not Napoleon. All right, that was a pretty convincing victory. We lost 100 men. The enemy lost 831, plus we captured 384. So unlike my playthroughs as the British, this went well. We've got enough recruits that we don't actually have to exchange them if we don't want, and I don't really need the provisions. Now, having 600 more men would be nice if I was about to build another regiment or two, but I kind of wonder about ransoming them. I'd get their ammo, and I'd also get 38 thalers. Or we could conscript some, and I'd get 10 of my 100 casualties back. I guess I'll just ransom them. Give me the gold. And so you can see here, the only boys who lost... These guys lost... Who lost 100? These guys lost 11. These guys lost 48 or 58. And these guys lost 29. Like, none of these regiments were touched. That was some good times. I'm assuming I can just replenish ammo by clicking this. Now, we used about 70 ammo, so still less than 10% our stock. Okay. And now we do have additional perks we can give our troops because they're the British. We, of course, captured... I thought I saw tea, but that looks like coffee. So we captured coffee rations, which improve reload and movement speed. These guys reload slower than the artillery? Jesus. 37 seconds. That is nuts. Be better than that, boys. Oh, because it's a medical thing, I can't give it to someone who's already... Well, I can see why maybe the British charged us with their cavalry, as the thought was they'd get in before we'd reload. Earthworks. And then we've got Limber Chest Basic. We've already got this equipped. We could equip a different unit with it. Slow their ammo usage. But honestly, ammo usage doesn't really seem to be a concern yet. So maybe I'll just sell it for the cash. Mariners walked it off in the 15th. Okay, cool. Heck of a game. All right. So it takes a little while for the reinforcements to retrain or re-arrive with the regiments. I will say that in our case, they lost so few men, it'll probably be real fast. You can also edit the flags and colors and uniform facing colors and stuff. There's a whole bunch of customization options there. All right, let's move this force up to Thoroat, which is the first town in our reach. Cattle farms give us provisions at a cheaper cost, and cavalry is recruitable +2. So maybe we'll get a cavalry regiment. I don't see any other things before we get to that town that we're going to want to go on. There are convoys around here too, and there's also a herd. There's also a hostile town over here in Brussels. The enemy that we need to defeat eventually is over here. 12,000 British will be the full strength of this boss army once it's ready. You can see here is the progression. Their day 145 is when they'll be ready. Time progresses pretty quick in this though. So let's go ahead to Thoroat. Day 3 or 4 already. And here, which was, I think, maybe a bug in the previous game, there's a noble estate. This is where you raise officers. Apparently, for whatever reason, we didn't have that in the British playthrough, but they're here. Definitely at larger towns, but also I think there are a lot of towns. Foundry, if we wanted to get better guns. I don't know what our current battery consists of. Can I see that? Iron 3-pounders, so not the best cannons. But I don't want to spend the gold on that. Barracks. How expensive are our regiments? Aren't as expensive. Hungarian recruits are 350. Grenzier recruits are 350. Crownland recruits are 325. Hungarian at 350. 600 for an Australian artillery battery. And then cavalry is 430. Interesting that they're all recruits. I don't see an option to get better troops. What's the staff college for? It's just random stuff you can buy. Can I just sell this here, or do I have to go to the quartermaster? Well, if we're going to buy another artillery battery, let's keep that over here. All right, so we have 399 gold. I assume if we get more troops, we will have to feed them more. A lot of different things you can do to make your troops better with equipment. But the immediate thing I need, I think, is more troops. So the Hungarian recruits seem to be the best troops from a traits point of view, at least initially. So we'll buy these guys. So these guys are in a new brigade. We'll put an officer down there too. We'll split one of our regiments off to join them. So 2 brigades of 2,800 men. And then we might as well give these guys the... oh, it's not an artillery unit, so they don't get the... okay, that's fine. Alright, so we got 2 brigades. Let's actually move the artillery to the 2nd brigade. Because their officer has the artillery trait. Okay. Let's go find some more cash now. So we'll move up here to this convoy. We got to secure 5 to get some bonus regiment. Intercepted a convoy transporting coinage, likely the treasure of a local garrison, being moved under escort. The gold's been hastily packed up and there's no time to search it all. Seize what we can and leave. Shake them down aggressively and move on. 104. Yeah, give me that. If we face a small enemy field army, so be it. And we do. Okay. Well, we're going to fight again, boys. 2 British brigades. Burly Henry von Halberstadt. Look at that dude. Burly. Chucks grenades. That's a man's man right there. All right, we've got to deal with British light dragoons and redcoat recruits. British foot, redcoat recruits. So 3 regiments of redcoat recruits. British foot and a light dragoons. They definitely out-quality us, but if we can have a similar fight as the last one where we can use our artillery to weaken them before they come up and we can position ourselves in a way that we can wreck them with good terrain, maybe we've got a chance. Oh, look, open fields, just what I want. Huh. Well, there is a little bit of a rise here. We can at least put the troops on high ground. Ground number recruits. Are these the guys with the earthworks? They are. All right. We are going to put these guys here. Nope. Put these guys in the woods. We're shifting our whole line over to the right here to try and find good terrain, I guess. And the Fusiliers, I don't know if it's smart to put them over here in this town. They're going to be a little bit exposed. Thank you for the resub, Stein. Appreciate it. We'll see what comes of this. I don't like my odds here, guys. We outnumber them very slightly. They have considerably better troops than we do. Where's this guy going? You know what? Just do this. You got to anchor to the troops in the town. Although you're deploying here, right? So actually you have to anchor to support the... Why do they have such short range? They're on elevation, aren't they? Fuck it. You can't extend that far. You'll be like Dan Sickles. Oh man, this rise over here would be real nice. Alright, at least these guys have good cover in the town. The enemy might also, but... Artillery is firing. Oh no, we barely dented their morale on our first salvo. Maybe we should have deployed them all in the town to the left. I should have pivoted that way. I didn't realize it gave you quite that much defensive cover Makes sense. And these wars and the Napoleonic Wars were full of campaigns that hinged on redoubts and things like that in towns. Are we hurting them at all? A little bit. They are kind of coming up in a blocky formation. If we can hit them as they come out, take out a core or two and even the odds. They're going to get those fences for cover too. Is the enemy just going to come at me and charge? Oh, they're going to stop and fire now. Oh God, the artillery's just... Did they just get routed in one volley? God damn it. They did. I'm kind of surprised that the cavalry doesn't get a major penalty charging across the open like that. Well, if we lost the artillery already, I'm pretty sure we lost the battle. Maybe not. We got... I don't know. We at least drove off their cavalry. All right, I want you guys to move closer. Try and get, if they're going to give you their flank, move closer. Both of you guys. The Fusiliers are holding nice in this town. They're giving a good account of themselves. The enemy morale is actually lower than our own so far. What kind of melee do we get? 29? I don't remember what the British melee is, but holding on this hill with these guys behind these earthworks, these little, whatever those are, like almost redoubts, seems a good idea. These red recruits just let me march up on their flank. There's two more regiments back here, like reformed cavalry. Are they blinking white? God damn, thin red line, give way. Well, this will definitely be more of a bloodbath. This is an officer, by the way. You just want him close enough to give a morale boost to your troops. I'm hoping that the veterancy of my Fusiliers keeps them alive longer, because these recruits need the officer close, I think. The British morale is dropping much more rapidly than our own. We routed another cavalry charge. Why are you charging? Fusiliers, what are you doing? Someone got impetuous. At least they wrecked the enemy cavalry. All right, this flank regiment is wavering. Where are the enemy redcoats? The British foot is here, trying to attack uphill against the Crowland recruits who are behind these earthworks, and taking a pretty severe punishment. The redcoat recruits are also taking some damage from these Hungarian recruits, and those redcoats are going to retreat. rotate them because they'll lose their cover bonus. Okay. Probably need to close the range a bit. I don't like the idea of fighting these. Can I shift left? Like, I don't like the idea of fighting these guys in the open. Fusiliers are hanging in there. This is not like an ideal way. Ideally, this right portion of the regiment would wheel over to get more in line with the enemy, but my boys are fresh and good morale. The enemy's steady and tired. Ammo 56%. My ammo's at 70 and 40. Maybe we'd do better in a melee than them, but I figure why risk it? We're doing, I think, much better on the KD ratio, although at the end of the day, really the casualties just affect me because this is a random field army that'll go away. I'll still have to beat the main enemy army at the end of all of this. So, you know, my ability to... Can I just send my general out and charge these guys? That's probably unwise. He probably needs to stay here. He's actually taking a few casualties where he's at too. All right, these guys are wavering. I think when they break, they didn't. The morale didn't take a hit when they broke, really. These guys are wavering too. So we're 140 more by these guys. 200 more by these guys. 130 more. Okay, cool. Victory! Austria's armies are undefeated in the field of battle. Undefeatable. Alright, so we defeated the enemy army. We get the thalers. We also capture a whole bunch of loot. Military trustee Santa Cruz. Focus on loose formation musketry suited to rough terrain and irregular warfare. Spanish officers credited with shaping modern skirmishing. Artillery stuff. Captured regimental flag. Hell yeah. I'm going to pretend we probably got it from the cavalry. And yeah, we inflicted 1,800 casualties on them against 933, and we captured 849 of them. We can ransom them and get 85 more thalers. We have 900 casualties to replace. We do have enough recruits right now to do that. We got 267 additional plunder from the victory. Exchange them for provisions. I don't need that right now. Although the veterancy gain would be nice. Conscript them. I don't need the reserves. Although getting 90 troops back would be nice. I'll just go for the money. Give me the money, boys. And several of my regiments have been promoted to the next veterancy level. Several of them actually to the second level. Now, one of the things you need to consider is these troops gain veterancy and they get better as their veterancy goes up. However, you can use that veterancy to increase their, or to advance them down the tech tree. So I could make these Crownland recruits become Austrian Fusiliers. They're better troops, but their veterancy experience starts over. I don't think I have enough points to do that yet. Yeah, I would need 3. They also cost more when you do that to maintain. A Fusilier regiment costs more to maintain than a... So even though we've been promoted, these units cost more than the British to upgrade to the next level. Yeah. All right, the artillery everybody needs. All right, we can spend most of our replacements on these troops. We also did capture some ammo, but we're still almost where we started ammo-wise. It's going to take a bit for these troops to fully equip because they did take more casualties than last time. So does this have to go to individual units or can it go to officers? Because it'd be nice if the doctrines could go to officers or the army, you know? But it looks like these are for individual units. I don't usually use my infantry in open order. Does help their movement speed though. I also don't know that I'm primarily fighting this with musketry, so I don't know that I want to change how I fight. All right, we're gonna do this so we can get better. What does this do? This military treaty? I don't know how to pronounce that. Better reload and better max range. Just generally an all-around good perk to have. Okay, so we're at 455 gold, and I think we're going to sell some of this stuff because I really don't think I'm going to sacrifice accuracy for charge. My intention is not to be a melee army, and I don't think the British are a melee army, so in this particular campaign, it may make sense to forego that. But for now, let's go... We got the convoy, so we're 1/5 of the way to securing convoys. Let's go get the slums, and then we'll turn around and go back to Thurowat to buy another regiment with our gold. Hostile townfolk. They bear no love, though they do not raise their arms. Their glares are sharp, and their silence is suspect. Our scouts report that word may soon reach the enemy headquarters of our presence. We may attempt to pay the locals for their silence, though no promise binds their tongues. Alternatively, the men speak of razing the place to ensure nothing is passed along, but such cruelty will not be forgotten, and some in our ranks may desert and protest. I'm not giving them money. They can report our position. I don't want to take 6% attrition or pay 112 ammo. We'll just retreat because there was an enemy patrolling army back that way, so I guess we'll retreat back here. And to that end, let's go to the quartermaster office. I don't know if I'm going to use this one. I guess I'll keep it. I don't want the large lumber chest. It consumes less ammo, but I worry about how hard that hurts your speed. I'm not going to do the spirit ration. I'd rather take the gold. This doesn't seem to have any purpose other than to sell it, even though it says like, oh, some won't like you selling captured regimental flags. Like, the flip side is there doesn't seem to be a morale penalty. So why not? Okay. Give them better shoes. They move faster. Huh. I feel like ramrods would be pretty important. However, got 680. We wanted a second battalion of artillery, right? And this is just me. Like, it might make sense to consolidate artillery in one brigade under one guy, but I like the idea of a 2-regiment brigade with an artillery battery to support. That's just me. They both have 3-pounders, but now we've got 2 batteries of artillery. I don't have a lot of money left if I were to buy stuff. Not really enough money to buy anything. I could sell this and have enough money to buy better guns or better bayonets. Alternatively, I could look for things that allow me to reload faster. Ramrods seem like just a universal good. Is this only for cavalry? I don't know what the horseshoe here. I'm guessing the guy is infantry and the... All right, let's go back to the screen here. All right, so these guys get better reload speeds. How much? 35 seconds versus 36? Doesn't really seem to make much of a difference. Okay. All right, let's get out of here. These herds, I assume, just give us provisions. Impending, thank you for the follow. 92 Ford Boy, thank you for the follow. A herd of deer has been sighted at the edge of the tree line. If our provisions run low, we may fan out multiple foraging parties. I can sell the pelts. Why not? Hey, we have a multinational army, so we get that specialty bonus. We get both. Cool. Oh, I can sell those for a lot of money. We've got till day 138. The enemy HQ is going faster than I thought. Also, towns do run out of cash. You can see they've got 600 in the quartermaster here. But all that money can be put to good use. I want faster shooters. It doesn't seem to make a huge difference reload wise. These guys just generally seem like they're going to be crappy on that regard. Okay. Ooh, canister, boys. Really should get that. Yeah, let's go get another convoy. There's got to be some events here that help slow the enemy main army. So a group of merchants is passing through the area under light guard. They request assistance in defending their wagons from bands of highwaymen. We may assign them a portion of our reserves and ammunition, whether modest or generous, but must understand that anything we commit shall be at risk. The further they travel, the more time it will cost us, and if the mission fails, our losses will never be recovered. Give them a large escort. Yay, they returned. So we get 280 of our reservists back. 2 civilian items and 48 gold. Gun picks and large canteens. Gun picks. Okay. How do I slow the enemy armies down is my question. Because last time around we had a bunch of like events that slowed the enemy mobilization down. Maybe we got to go to the encampments. These guys are still searching for us, but they're a smaller army than we are. Those are patrol armies, by the way, so they patrol the routes between cities. We're retreating because we're too strong. Camp is abandoned in haste. Cooking fires still smolder. Ransack the camp. Okay, so we've got 3 choices here. Take some supplies and leave. Thalers, provisions, ammunition. Take some equipment and leave. Ransack the camp. Yes. And we didn't even get a field army. Nice. Alright, so we got to get better weapons, right? These guys are using the Neustadt, which is, I think, a better weapon than a lot of the recruits are using. We've got worn muskets here. So let's give these guys... What's the difference? Tool is a faster reloader, considerably less accuracy. It's a carbine. It's meant for cavalry. But the Charleville is a good one. Huh. Okay. So both of our brigades in the regiments in the 1st brigade have better than stock muskets. The other guys are still all using worn. Does it make sense to use this? 17,135, 9, 90, 30. So it's a faster reloader. 9 and 12. It's a faster reloader and better in melee, but really not worth it in my opinion with the way I'm fighting. Is this just like a farm encampment? Like, what's this deal? It's a very small town. We're just gonna sell these weapons. Gun picks, please. Ramrods. I guess these would be good, right? So negative 12, so we've still got a little bit of cash to play with. Not enough thalers. Negative 132, I thought. Oh, this is the ending state. Holy cow, those cylindrical ramrods are expensive. The things I'm selling are not worth much. I was misreading that. So you see no noble house. This is a very small town. I guess my 1st brigade is kind of my crack brigade with the way things are playing out here and how I'm heavily favoring them on re-equipping and things. We got to go find more encampments and more convoys. So let's head north. Actually, let's head south. There's a convoy right here. Can we attack the main enemy army early? Not that I want to attack an enemy army twice my size. Rotting corpses. Great. I guess we'll just stick along this main route. I'm going to avoid Brussels. I don't have anything to sell. No. Those patrol armies we've been mostly avoiding. We don't have enough recruits to send any escorts. We can go... Oh, fuck. Whoa. The Battle of Waterloo? 10,000 men? Where did they come from? You know, there's an irony to that, because this was live on a live stream on Twitch, and I'm watching this, and I'm watching the playthrough as I literally see the 10,000 man army and just walk straight into it. So sometimes when you're live streaming, you don't always see everything on the screen in front of you. Sometimes when you are gaming, you do not always see everything on the screen in front of you. But either way, we are about to fight a battle at considerably long odds, and we will see how that plays out. This is our first look at the Austrian campaign, and we'll see how that plays out. However, we've been going for almost an hour, so I think it's only natural to take a pause here and fight this battle in our next video. I hope you guys are enjoying this look at Master of Command, a game by Armchair History Interactive, the gaming side of the Armchair Historian, and we'll fight this thing next time. But until next time, this is the Historical Gamer saying thank you very much for watching, and I'm out.